Hi there, Jeff Brown again. This is video number 2 in the Focus on Marketing for Photographers series. Like I said on my first video, the idea of these videos is to help as many photographers as possible by giving plenty of helpful, useful, free tips and advice through my experience of being a professional photographer for over 12 years, covering in excess of 750 weddings across the UK and abroad, and also tens of thousands of portraits, running a separate commercial and aerial photography company, and also a very successful boudoir makeover company as well. So today's question, which I had last week, was from a photographer with regards to pricing. This photographer has been going for about a year or so, was getting quite disillusioned with the whole thing. Was thinking about knocking her business on the head altogether, because she's stuck in a rut where she's charging a very small amount for her photography services and can't seem to get the clients who are paying the money that she wants to charge. But then the more we looked into it and the more we discussed it, we realised that it wasn't really a fault of the client, it was more of a fault of our own, because she didn't feel that she was worth what she could charge, and she didn't have the experience or the confidence to charge the right amount of money that she should be charging for her services, because she started out at the bottom end. When she first started out, she believed that she should do something for next to nothing, at a cut price. Now, unfortunately, this is the way the photography industry is at the moment, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future. There's a lot of photographers out there, but anybody who has a camera now thinks themselves as pretty much a bit of a pro. And you're up against a lot of competition, people who have full-time jobs earning 20, 30, 40,000 pounds a year, but they'll do weddings on weekends, and they'll also do portraits as well. To them, it's okay to charge 50 quid for a portrait, it's okay to charge 200 or 150 pounds for a wedding, because that is not what they need to pay their bills. This is just a little bit extra pocket money. But if you were thinking about being a full-time professional photographer, you need to charge a lot more for your services. And you need to do that by breaking away from the budget cut price market. Now, one way to think of it is if you think of 80% of the photographers in the UK are in the budget and cut price market, and only 20% are in the medium up to the higher end market, then okay, at the budget and cut price market, there might be a lot more clients, a lot more people wanting bargain photographers. Obviously, Groupon has created an influx of people wanting deals and wanting anything for nothing, pretty much. But the problem is there's a lot of competition out there as well. So where there might be a lot of people wanting to buy cut price photography, you've also got a lot of competitors who are also there fighting for the same customers. And obviously what they're all fighting over is price. They're not fighting over quality or branding or the emotional aspect. They're fighting over how much, who's going to do the job for the cheapest price. And what happens in the end is you just end up lowering the prices until you're making next to nothing. So the best way to do is to move your pricing bracket out of that. Get out of that structure. These people aren't going to make you any money. And if nothing, they're just going to complain, or they're just going to want stuff cheaper and cheaper. You want to move into the next bracket or the next 2 brackets up. And then that's quite easy to do, especially nowadays with social media marketing. You can straight away sort of rebrand in the case of like 24 hours, you can rebrand, rethink about your business and start targeting a completely different market. But the thing you need to get into, the mindset you need to get into, is the confidence to be able to say your price straight to a customer, straight out, and say, no, my portrait CD with 10 images on is £250, or my portrait CD with 15 images is £500. My wedding is £1,595. You need to be in that frame of mind where you are charging the right amount of money for the professional service that you provide. Now, a lot of photographers starting out don't believe they're worth that money. But if you think of it this way, a client's not just going to buy your photographs because they're cheap. You know, if they thought your photographs were crap or they weren't any good, then they wouldn't buy them at all. So if somebody wants to buy your photographs, it's because you've made a good job of them. You've captured somebody. Remember, people buy photographs for emotional reasons. They don't buy them on price, and they look at photographs differently, you know what I mean? They don't look at the way they're composed, they don't look at the exposure, they don't look for leading lines or rules of thirds. They look at the way you've captured their son or daughter or the bride and groom. That is the way that people buy a photograph. They have an emotional attachment. And if you can reach that emotional attachment with somebody, then that product then becomes of value to them because you've hit on that emotionally to them and they want to then purchase it. And it's the way you sell your services then that ultimately determines what price you get for them. And also as well who you market your photography to. Now if you think there's only 20% of those photographers that are in the medium to high end category, then you might have a few less customers out there to reach. But from the benefit point of view, you have a hell of a lot hell of a lot less competition out there. So you only have 20% of the photographers fighting for those other customers, where you had 80% of the photographers fighting for the cheap ones. So you've got a lot less competition. And the other good thing, from a wedding point of view, you're going to be hitting the much nicer venues as well. You're going to get the castles, the stately homes, you know, the really nice luxurious hotels and halls, where from a photographer's point of view, you're just going to be inundated with fantastic areas to take pictures, you know. You're not going to be standing in a car park in a working men's club against a brick wall and a load of cars trying to get a photograph of the bride and groom. It's not very attractive, is it? So yeah, so you're going to move yourself into a completely different market where your photography becomes a lot more enjoyable. You're working with people who really, really, really love your services and are happy to pay the price without any questions. No quibbling, no how much for cash, how much you're going to knock off. None of this stuff, what you're going to chuck in for free. You're not going to get that because you're going to be working for the people that you would touch emotionally in the price bracket you want to aim to. And this is something we're going to touch on in the next few videos on how to start rebranding your photography and hitting the right people. But what I want you to think about now is think about how many weddings a year you want to be doing, or how many portraits a week you want to be doing, and ultimately what your earning potential is, what you'd like to be earning. I recently worked with a photographer who was earning next to £200 a month. I pretty much thought about giving everything up altogether, and with only 2 months, within 2 months, that photographer had turned her monthly income from £200 to £2,000. You know, within the same area. She still had the same competitors, she still had the same people out there. Just rebranded, remarketed, and give her the confidence to go out and ask for the money that you should have been getting. And the fact of it was really easy. You know, once you got 2 or 3 under your belt, then it gives you the confidence. And if somebody says, yeah, I'll take that CD for £250, or I'll book that wedding for 1,500 quid, then you think, wow, that's fantastic, I'm really worth it. And you feel so much more better and so much more valued as a photographer. So I hope you found this interesting. Like I said, these videos are recorded totally live, so sorry I haven't done my hair or my makeup. This is me as I am. If you have any questions whatsoever, if you'd like any more information, drop me an email to info@focusonmarketing.co.uk, or head on over to my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/focusonmarketing, where you can drop me a message if you like. I'm more than happy to give you free tips in advance, answer any questions you may have, and hopefully you will find these videos useful and it will be a benefit to as many people as possible. Well, thanks for following. I've really enjoyed making this second video and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.